Hi, today we are looking at the second part of this chapter, the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, where we are just going to focus on the functions of the cabinet and the functions of the Prime Minister. So let us start off. I want you to keep looking at the mind map when I am sharing the points so that it's easier for you to follow the keywords. So first we are looking at administrative powers. Now, administrative powers are also called as executive powers. Just keep the image of a desk and a chair and you are good to go ahead. Yeah? So, the first thing that the cabinet does is it makes the policies. So, policy making, the cabinet formulates both internal, that is the domestic policies, and the external or foreign policies of the government. Now it could be anything to do with defense, security, economy, the elections, import, industries, formation of new states. Anything and everything is first decided by the cabinet minister. Yeah, the cabinet ministry. Next, we are looking at the implementation of policies. Now, this is not rocket science. They will make it. Obviously, they will see that they are going to implement it. Now, once the decision is taken by the cabinet, they have to see that they pass it on to whom? The ministers of state, the deputy ministers. They work out the different details, pass it on to the civil servants, and see that these policies that they have framed get conveyed, get implemented. The next function under this administrative function is that it coordinates the functioning of various ministers. Now it is not easy, although we can just take an example of providing health services. Now under the health services there are so many ministries that will be involved. Okay, so the cabinet carefully coordinates the working of various departments for the smooth implementation of the policies. Appointments, all the major appointments are made by the president, but they are decided by the cabinet. Now when I say the cabinet, I automatically mean cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. So it could be appointment of judges of the Supreme Court, high courts, governors of the state, the chief election commissioner, other commissioners, other dignitaries. All the appointments are made by the president, but who does the work? It is the cabinet ministers. Let us move on and let us look at the legislative powers. Yeah. Now out here, just keep the parliament building in mind and the points will roll accordingly. First thing that the cabinet does is it introduces the bill. So what will it do? It will not only prepare the draft of the proposal, but obviously they are going to present it before the parliament. They explain the merits of the bill. So throughout the entire process, the cabinet ministers are actively involved. So the first legislative function is introduction of bills. Now if I ask you a one marker, what are official bills? They are the legislative proposals that the cabinet formulates. Now 95% of the bills are initiated by the cabinet. Now there are certain private bills which we are not discussing right now, but we are looking at the cabinet introducing the bills. Next one, they act as a source of information. Now obviously if the members of the parliament want to ask questions and want to know the details, from where will they get all the details? Obviously from the cabinet ministers. After all, they have formulated the policies, they know the details, so they act as an important source of information. The next function under the legislative function is the amendment to the constitution. That means whenever any changes, edits, add-ons have to be made to the constitution, the cabinet is instrumental in the planning of the same. Next, it also has an important function of summoning the houses of the parliament. Summoning is calling the houses of the parliament. It is a function of the president. So the president summons the houses of the parliament, but who initiates the matter? It is done by the cabinet ministry of parliamentary affairs. Yeah. Now when we are looking at the functions of the cabinet side by side, we are also looking at functions of the president, which we will be discussing when we look at the chapter on president and vice president. Next one, the president addresses the houses of the parliament. Sometimes whenever he feels like, it could be the first session of the Lok Sabha after the general elections has taken place, or the start of the parliament every year. Now even at that point in time, his special address, the kind of welcome note that he shares, is also written by the cabinet. He has no freedom of even giving a speech of his own. And then the last duty or the last function under the legislative powers is issuing ordinances. Now what are ordinances? Let us try and understand that first. They are the temporary laws passed by the president when the parliament is not in session. So once again we are saying the president passes these temporary laws when the parliament is not in session, but he cannot do anything unless the cabinet advises him to do so. So once again the cabinet advises the president to issue ordinances when the parliament is not in session. We move on and look at the financial powers. The first important financial function or the financial power is preparing the budget. Now you know that the finance ministry prepares the annual budget. And what is this annual budget? It is an approximate estimate of income expenditure that they are anticipating for the coming year. So of course amendments do take place, discussions take place, there might be certain budget cuts that take place after the discussion takes place and the budget is discussed. But if at all any change is made to the budget against the wishes of the cabinet, then it is equal to, or it is similar to, or it amounts to the vote of no confidence. And vote of no confidence means the entire ministry has to resign. Next, it looks into the finances of the government. Now any kind of expenditure of the government is the responsibility of the cabinet. It presents the demands, it raises the necessary income through taxation and other means. So the entire finances of the government, the responsibility lies on the shoulder of the cabinet. And finally, they introduce money bills. Now as the name itself suggests, money bill, a bill, something to do with financial matters, that is also introduced in the lower house of the parliament, and only in the lower house of the parliament, that is the Lok Sabha. And who introduces the money bill? It is the cabinet ministry. Next one and the last one, we are looking at emergency powers. Now there are three types of emergencies. We will look at those later. There is something called as national emergency or general emergency, that is emergency at a national level, the whole nation is involved. State emergency, where a particular state is involved. And financial emergency, that is the finances of the entire country have been threatened and therefore the emergency has to be declared. So far in India, we never have faced a financial emergency. Okay, now on paper, in theory, when we say that the president proclaims the emergency, but after hearing so much, can you think and tell me who actually decides the things? So it is the cabinet that decides if an emergency has to be proclaimed or declared, and without receiving a written permission from the cabinet, the president cannot declare or proclaim an emergency. So all these are the functions, the powers of the cabinet. Now what I want you to do is, please take a perforated sheet, write down activity mind map. Below that, caption it as overview of the functions of the cabinet, and please you can use different colors, but one rule in the mind map is it has to be like a nerve center. Okay, all the elements have to be connected. Use different colors for each power so that it stands out easily, and you can use this when you are studying for quick recap of points. Once you are done documenting, let us move ahead to the last element for the day, and that is the powers or the functions of the Prime Minister, or the position and the powers, the duties of the Prime Minister. Let us see the functions of the Prime Minister. Now some points will overlap, because after all, functions of the cabinet, where I said already the Prime Minister is a part of it. Now here we are zooming in on certain elements. Points are going to overlap. Now let us look at what are the functions of the Prime Minister with respect to the President. Now all the authority in the hands of the President is exercised by whom? The Prime Minister. Yes? We've seen that the cabinet advises and the president then carries on the functions. But out here, when we are looking at functions of the Prime Minister and the president, what are we saying? All the authority in the hands of the president is exercised by the Prime Minister. So he is the principal advisor of the president. Who is the real executive of our Indian Union? It is the Prime Minister. The president is the nominal head. Next one, summoning the parliament, dissolving the Lok Sabha. It is on the advice of the Prime Minister that the president summons the parliament or dissolves the Lok Sabha. Next one is appointments. The Prime Minister chooses his ministers. On his advice, the president then appoints the Council of Ministers. He also advises the president to appoint judges of the Supreme Court, the governors, the ambassadors. Yes? So out here, what else does he do? He looks into the appointments and advises the president. Next one, he acts as a link between the president and the Council of Ministers. Now all the decisions of the Council of Ministers. Yeah. Now when I say, we know that who takes the decisions, it is a cabinet. But right now it is just a blanket term. So anything related to do with the Council of Ministers, the decisions, the discussions are passed on to the president. Anything that the president shares is passed on through the Prime Minister to the cabinet ministers. Now, the ministers cannot directly walk in and discuss the policy with the president. So out here, what is the function of the Prime Minister? He acts as an important link between the president and the Council of Ministers. Then the last thing is, he is an important source of information. Now obviously, if the president wants to know something, where will he go? He will obviously turn towards the Prime Minister and ask him to provide the necessary information. So these are the functions of the Prime Minister with respect to the President. Let us move on and see the next category of functions, that is the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. I can also say relation of the Prime Minister with the Cabinet, or Prime Minister with respect to the Council of Ministers, or I can also say the Prime Minister is a cornerstone of the cabinet arc. Justify. or the Prime Minister is the head of the Council of Ministers justify? Now, when we are looking at these different questions, we are trying to just show the relation between the Prime Minister and the team. Okay, so the first one is he is the leader of the cabinet. He is the head of the cabinet. Yeah, the Prime Minister has a liberty to decide on different matters, appointing the different categories of ministers. Yeah, so he is the leader of the cabinet. He is the head of the cabinet. Anything to do with respect to selecting the ministers, dismissing the ministers, allocating portfolios, reshuffling the Council of Ministers is completely in the hands of the Prime Minister. Next thing is he coordinates the policies, so he coordinates the working of different departments. Obviously, he is accountable and answerable, and anything happens and if he resigns, it implies to the resignation of the whole cabinet ministry. After all, they are his faithful ministers. He is relying on them. Yeah. So in case something happens and if the Prime Minister resigns, the entire cabinet resigns. So these are the functions of the Prime Minister with respect to the cabinet. Keep looking at the mind map, please. Let us move on and look at the next function of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister's functions with respect to the Parliament, or Prime Minister inside the Parliament, or functions of the leader of the majority ruling party in the Lok Sabha, or functions of the Prime Minister inside the Union Legislature. So the Parliament is also called as legislature. Yeah. So there are different ways in which the question can be asked. So please keep these elements in mind. First thing, he is the leader of the Lok Sabha. So he is the leader of the majority party in the Parliament. He is the leader of the House. What else does he do? He is the chief spokesperson of all the government policies. So any important announcement on the floor of the House is done by the Prime Minister. Next function, he also defends the government policies. So when a policy or a minister comes under attack in the Parliament, he comes to the he comes to defend the issues that are involved, and in case of any controversial issues, he steps in once again, and the matter generally ends with the intervention of the Prime Minister. The final function that we are seeing of the Prime Minister is as a leader of the nation. So as a leader of the nation, he represents the nation. During national crisis, we are once again looking at an ideal scenario. Okay, so during national crisis, even the opposition parties support the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister decides what kind of relations India would like to have with other countries. The Prime Minister tries to promote the interests of the country in international forums. So he's kind of the face of the nation. Yeah. At the time of general elections, ideal scenario is we give our vote for the proposed Prime Minister. So the party says that, if we come to power, then this is the person whom we are going to elect, and he is going to be our Prime Minister. Now, these are all the functions of the Prime Minister as a leader of the nation. Now, when the Prime Minister has so many powers and functions, and we are saying he is the real head, obviously, since we are looking at a constitution, we are looking at keeping the powers under limit, under check. The powers of the Prime Minister are also constantly kept under, limitations. There is a constant check on the authority of the Prime Minister. Now, how is it done? It is his own party members. Okay, so he has to have the support of his own party members. In case there is a coalition government, that is, 3-4 governments have come together, then who keeps the check? Obviously, the coalition governments, the different political parties that have come together will keep a check and see that the Prime Minister is not abusing the powers. The opposition party is always there to criticize the Prime Minister. The press, public opinion also act as effective checks on the Prime Minister's authority. So I can ask you, list the different ways in which the authority of the Prime Minister is kept under control. State the ways in which there is a limitation on the Prime Minister's position and authority. Or I can say that although the Prime Minister enjoys a lot of powers, there are checks on his authority. Justify. Okay. So out here, what are we saying? It is his own party members, coalition government, opposition parties, press and public opinion all keep a check on the Prime Minister's authority. Now, this is the end of the chapter. What I want you to do is write down the caption activity mind map. Write down the sub-caption overview of the functions of the Prime Minister. As I already mentioned, the rule for making the mind map, you can be creative. You can kind of draw a tree like you all have done in the 9th standard and one main branch and branch out. It could be like a fish scale that you are going ahead with and making your mind map. So please complete your documentation and we will discuss elements soon. In this chapter, there are no cancellations whatsoever, irrespective of whatever is written in the scope box. Out here, just one small thing before I close my discussion. If I ask you what are the features of a cabinet system, now we've discussed so much. Yeah, so you should be able to just give me 2-3 key points now in your textbook. When you open it, you will be able to see that there is a big box that is there on section B of the page where a lot of points have been dropped in, but all that you need to tell me: features of a cabinet system. Who is the nominal head? It is the president. Who is the real head? It is the Prime Minister. Who coordinates between the ministers? It is the Prime Minister. Who is the leader? It is the Prime Minister, and he heads the cabinet. And there is a control of the parliament over the executive. So the parliament is also keeping a check on the cabinet. So vote of no confidence, it can have a cut in the budget, yeah, asking questions, adjournment motions. Now all these are certain terms which we will zoom in later, but just hear the points, okay? So out here, the parliament keeps a control over the executive. So right now, when we are looking at features of a cabinet system, the president is the nominal head. The Prime Minister coordinates between the ministers and the parliament. He's the leader of the cabinet, and the parliament controls the executive through various means and methods. So with this, we close the chapter. See you soon. Bye.